Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Circle Time. I hope you had a great Wednesday. We're going to start off today with our calendar, and we're going to find out what day we're on. So we did find out yesterday. Miss Kula told us yesterday was Wednesday. So we're going to take our yesterday tag, and we're going to put it on Wednesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. If yesterday was Wednesday, what's today? Let's see. There's Sunday and there's Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday. That's right, today is Thursday. So I'm going to take my today tag and I'm going to put it with Thursday. And if today's Thursday, what does that make tomorrow? Well, that means that tomorrow is Friday. That's right. Tomorrow is Friday. And does anybody remember the month? Sounds like our long April. That's right. It's the month of April. And look, we're almost done. Let's find out what number day we're on today. And then we'll see how many more days we have until the month of May comes. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's right. 30. It's the 30th day of April. And guess what, boys and girls? Today is the last day of April, too. So when you join Miss Kula tomorrow, April will go away. And what month is coming? The month of May. Did you see what I did there? A little rhyme? April will go away, and then will come May. That's right. And let's say the date all together on 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Today is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. And for those of us that are keeping our weather journal, let's find out what the weather's like today. We'll sing our weather song first, and then I'll give you a moment to check outside your window and see what you see. Are you ready? What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Is it raining out today? What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? Is it snowing? Is it windy? What's the weather like today? And now when I look out the window, I see lots of sun. I don't see any clouds in the sky at all. And I don't see the branches on the trees moving too much. So I would say today is a sunny day. It's sunny out today. All right. We did talk about April being National Poetry Month. And since it's the last day in April, I wanted to read you a few more selections from my favorite poet, Shel Silverstein. And then we can go over the 3 things that we've learned about poems so far. And if you join me later on the Facebook page, you will find another lesson on a new type of poetry called acrostic poetry. And you'll see why we were working on alliteration in the last lesson. So without further ado, a few selections from Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends. And remember, this is a poetry anthology, or a collection of poems. I think you guys will enjoy this first one. It's about a brontosaurus. It's called If I Had a Brontosaurus. If I had a brontosaurus, I would name him Horace or Morris. But if suddenly one day he had a lot of little brontosauri, I would change his name to Lori. Lots of rhyming in that one. And so that poem was a rhyming narrative poem. It rhymed and it told us a little story. All right. This is our next one here. please do not make fun of me and please don't laugh. It isn't easy to write a poem on the neck of a running giraffe. And this is another special type of poem that we're going to talk about probably next week. But look, the poem, the words are written in the shape of the giraffe's neck. That's pretty cool. All right, and here's our last one. It's called Spaghetti. Spaghetti, spaghetti, all over the place. Up to my elbows, up to my face, over the carpet and under the chairs, into the hammock, wound round the stairs, filling the bathtub and covering the desk, making the sofa a mad, mushy mess. The party is ruined. I'm terribly worried. The guests have all left unless they are buried. I told them bring presents. I said throw confetti. I guess they heard wrong because they all threw spaghetti. And that's another rhyming narrative poem. So the two different things we've learned about, the two different techniques we've learned about so far are rhyming, which is when the word sounds the same at the end, and alliteration, when the words in a phrase or a sentence have the same beginning sound. And then the one type of poem we learned about was narrative poetry, which is a type of poetry that does what? It tells a story. That's right, it tells a story. When we learned about alliteration, or the same beginning sound, we learned something special, a special type of technique that actors and public speakers use to get their mouths all warmed up for speaking in front of everybody. Does anybody remember what those things were called? They were little alliterative phrases. They were called tongue twisters, interestingly enough, since my tongue just got twisted. So here I have our tongue twisters that we worked on Tuesday, and let's work on them again today, because the more you practice tongue twisters, the better you get at them, the faster you can say them. And now we're going to remember that alliteration is when words in a phrase have the same beginning sound. Okay, so our first one was big black bear. And what's the sound that you hear at the beginning of all of those words? Let's listen one more time. Big black bear. Do you hear the B sound at the beginning of each word? Big black bear. Let's say that 3 times all together. Are you ready? And we're going to try to say it a little fast. Big black bear, big black bear, big black bear. My tongue got twisted on the end there. Did you hear it? All right, and let's say this one down here. We'll say it slow together first and listen for what sound you hear at the beginning of each word. Are you ready? Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. What sound do you hear? Do you hear the p, p, p at the beginning of each sound? This is an alliterative phrase or a tongue twister. Let's say this one 3 times. We'll say it medium fast, okay? You ready? Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. That's right. And these are 2 examples of tongue twisters and also examples of alliteration. Poets use a lot of different techniques, and there are many different types of poems that you can explore. I hope these few lessons that you've had on the different types of poetry have sparked your interest to go explore many, many, many more types of poetry. The great thing about poetry is there's a little something for everyone. There's poems about horses, and there's poems about outer space. There's poems, as you see, about spaghetti. And then there's silly poems about nonsensical things like long giraffe necks running. So I hope you enjoy exploring poetry, both in April or National History Month and also all year long. I hope you have a great day.